If you're an American living or working abroad, we need to talk, because there's a really good chance you have a US tax problem you don't even know about. The consequences can be, well, pretty staggering. But, and this is the important part, there is an official IRS-approved way to fix it. And today, we're gonna break that down step by step. Okay, so here's our game plan. We're gonna start with the problem itself, why this is such a big deal. Then we'll untangle some of the confusing acronyms you'll hear. After that, we'll get to the single most important question you have to answer. And from there, we'll dive into the official IRS solution and a clear action plan. And we'll wrap up by connecting all of this to your long-term financial freedom. All right, first things first. Let's really set the stage and talk about the risks for US citizens and green card holders who are living overseas. This isn't just about some minor paperwork headache. We're talking about serious financial penalties. So here's the root of the whole thing. The United States is one of the only countries in the world that taxes based on citizenship, not where you live. That means if you're a US person, it doesn't matter where you are on the planet, you are required to report your entire worldwide income. And you have to disclose your foreign financial accounts to the US government every single year. A huge number of expats have absolutely no idea this is a rule. Now get this, the penalties for what the IRS might consider just an honest mistake can be absolutely devastating. For a non-willful failure, meaning you didn't do it on purpose, to report a foreign account on a form called an FBAR, the penalty can be over $16,000. And that's not a one-time thing, that's per year, per violation. But the game changes completely if the IRS decides your failure to file was willful, that you knew you were supposed to file and you chose not to. Then the penalty just skyrockets. We're talking a minimum of $100,000, or a full 50% of the highest balance in that account. This difference between a simple mistake and an intentional act is everything. Okay, so a lot of the confusion for expats comes from this alphabet soup of government acronyms. So let's clear up the two biggest ones you'll run into, FBAR and FATCA. They sound kind of similar, but they are for very different things. You can see the key differences right here. The easiest way to think about it is this. FBAR goes to the Treasury Department's crime-fighting division, FinCEN. It's really about tracking money for law enforcement purposes. FATCA, on the other hand, is filed with the IRS right along with your tax return. Its job is to make sure you're paying tax on a whole range of foreign assets. So different forms, different agencies, and totally different purposes. And that brings us to what is maybe the most important question in this whole process. Was your failure to file willful, or was it non-willful? This isn't just some legal footnote. This is the fork in the road. The answer to this question determines which path you can take to get compliant and what the consequences are going to be. Now look, this is the IRS's own definition, and that's incredibly important. Non-willful isn't about being perfect. It's about showing that your failure to file was just an honest mistake. You know, maybe you were born abroad and just didn't know the rules, or you misunderstood something complicated. This is the key that unlocks the door to getting compliant without those crippling penalties. So you've got these two completely different futures based on that one distinction. If your actions were non-willful, you get access to these great amnesty-style programs where the major penalties just get waived. You file your stuff, you pay any tax and interest you owed, and bam, you're back in the system. But if it's considered willful, that path leads to something called the Voluntary Disclosure Program, which means serious civil penalties and even a potential criminal investigation. Two very, very different outcomes. Okay, so let's say you've looked at your situation and you're confident your past non-compliance was just an honest mistake. Well, good news. The IRS has created a very specific program just for people like you. Let's talk about this official lifeline, the Streamlined Foreign Offshore Procedures, or SFOP. So, in plain English, what is the SFOP? It's the formal, approved process to get right with the IRS. It's a way for you to come forward, submit all the missing forms, and fix everything by paying only the back taxes and interest you actually owed in the first place. All those scary penalties we just talked about, they're waived. Gone. Now, not just anyone can use it. The eligibility rules are very specific. The absolute foundation is that your mistake was non-willful. You also have to prove you genuinely live outside the US by meeting a pretty strict residency test. And here's a crucial one. You have to do this before the IRS contacts you for an audit. You have to come to them first. And of course, you need a valid social security number or ITN. So what does this actually look like in practice? Let's go from the abstract idea of the SFOP to the concrete, actionable steps you need to take to put together a successful submission. This is it. This is the whole package. It's 3 years of tax returns, which is way better than having to go back forever, and 6 years of those FBARs. The real centerpiece, though, is that third one, Form 1465-3. That's your sworn statement where you explain exactly why your mistake was an honest one. And then, of course, you pay whatever tax and interest you owe. Now, here's one of those small details that is absolutely critical. It sounds a little weird, but the IRS requires you to physically write Streamlined Foreign Offshore in red ink across the top of each tax return. This isn't just a suggestion. It's the flag that tells the IRS mailroom to send your package to the special unit that knows how to handle these cases. And believe it or not, this whole process is surprisingly old school. The entire package, your returns, your certification, your check, it all gets filed on paper and mailed to this one very specific address in Austin, Texas. You'll definitely want to use a courier service so you can track it and know for sure that it arrives safely. So we've covered the what and the how, but let's wrap this up by looking at the why. Why does getting compliant matter so much beyond just dodging penalties? Well, it's really about preserving your options and your financial future, especially if you ever think about making a really big life change. For some Americans living abroad, the idea of renouncing their citizenship comes up, but you have to be really careful because doing that can trigger a massive exit tax if the government labels you a covered expatriate. And that's a huge financial trap you need to know about. Now, you might look at those first two triggers, high net worth, high income, and think, oh, okay, this is only for really wealthy people. But look at that third one. That's the real trap. You can automatically become a covered expatriate and get hit with that exit tax simply because you can't swear that you filed your taxes correctly for the last 5 years. Your income could be zero, your net worth could be zero, but if you haven't filed, you're on the hook. And this is why a program like the SFOP is so powerful. It's not just about cleaning up a mess from the past. It's about taking control of your financial story going forward. It lets you get compliant, sidestep that whole exit tax trap, and keep all of your options open, whether you plan to keep your US citizenship forever or maybe do something different down the road. So, we've laid it all out. The problem, the stakes, the key questions, and the official solution from the IRS. The path to getting back on track is clear. The only question left is, what's the first step you're going to take to secure your own financial freedom?